I honestly never knew for the longest time. I just assumed that every parent would drink as much as my mom did.
Alcoholics become different kind of people after a while, and it just seemed like she wasn't the same person she was when we first met and first started dating, and even when we first got married.
The first time I had a drink was when I was 14. I can still remember it vividly. It was Southern Comfort in my bedroom with one of the friends that I knew at the time. It was wonderful. I was always very shy and nervous and timid, and when I took that drink, it just made me feel so much better, relaxed, and able to deal with life.
I would come home and she would be laying passed out on the couch or just burst out and scream at me for no reason, and I just wouldn't know why. It was still getting worse. She was still drinking every day, and it just made me not want to be her daughter anymore.
And it also escalated from alcohol to alcohol and pills, which made everything so much worse. I lived in a blackout a lot of the time. I don't remember a lot of things that I did.
It became an issue to have her driving kids places and to events, and having an issue with her drinking problem.
At a point, I pretty much hated my mom. I didn't want anything to do with her. I swore that there was nothing she could do to change my mind ever. She was just some person to me. She was no longer my mom, it felt like.
I lost respect from my children, my husband, my family, neighbors, friends. I lost my driver's license. I ended up coming to the point where I tried to commit suicide because I didn't think I would ever be able to stop.
I truly never thought that she was going to get help. And I thought even if she did that, I would never forgive her because of how much pain she had already put our family through. And there was just no hope left.
When she's using, she yells a lot and not even sure I think she understands what she's saying half the time, and it leads to a lot of arguments.
I think she realized it was time to get help when we went out to dinner one time and she completely blacked out and took pills and drank out to dinner, and she pretty much overdosed and was in the hospital for days. And I almost felt like I didn't care, but I knew that I did.
One thing about alcohol, it brings you to a place of total bankruptcy, like mentally, physically, spiritually. And that's where I found myself at such a bottom where I decided to check myself into a rehab in Florida.
I always thought she would get help and get better. I think she always seemed interested in getting help and becoming back to her old self again. I think she always wanted to get better, and I think each time there was a certain event that inspired her, whether it be, for the kids or better off for the family or just overall for her health.
Rehab was very scary at first, but before I even left New Jersey, I kind of went on a total binge. I drank more than I've ever drank in my life. I took every pill I could find, and I packed for Florida in a blackout. I got on a plane in a blackout, flew there in a blackout, somehow got picked up by the person from the detox in a blackout, stayed in detox for 7 days, don't remember it at all. They had me on medication for withdrawals. Then they took me to the rehab.
First time she went away, you guys were a little younger and someone came and helped out. So that was a lot more difficult than the recent times you went to rehab when you guys were older, and I was just going to work every day, coming home and doing my normal routine, except that she wasn't here. When you guys were younger, it was different with someone having to take care of you during the day and then additional, taking care of you guys at night.
It was so much more peaceful. It was nice to just not have her there, not have someone yelling, not have someone passed out on the couch or drinking or just making our lives difficult. It was just easier without her there, honestly.
When 30 days was up, that was the time that was determined that I was going to go home. I had a plan in place where I had a sponsor already. I already had my meetings set up. I've had a support group. At one time, I felt like I had to stay clean for everybody else, but I have to stay clean for me first.
I never thought that I'd say it actually got better. She really was a different person to me. And for a while, I still felt mad at her, but over time, she earned back my trust and my complete love.
She's been doing a lot better. Still struggles sometimes. That's why it's important to keep her mind focused on her rehabilitation. So I do think she has been better.
I feel very strong. I have just about 8 months clean now. I go to a meeting every day. I talk to my sponsor. I have a support group of women, and we help each other, stay clean one day at a time. I've gotten my relationships back with my children that I had lost. My husband and I are closer than we've ever been.
She's strong every single day, and I can see it in her. And I never thought that I'd be this close with my mom again. We go shopping together all the time. We watch movies together really late. She'll take care of me when I'm sick now.
And when she's not using, she's a totally different person, and it's much easier to get along with her, and she gets along better with everyone else in the family.
I am grateful to God and to the program and for recovery so I can be the person that God wanted me to be.
She just really is making up for it, and I'm so proud of her.